Hello and welcome to Business Today. I'm Siddharth Zarabi, and with me from Davos at the World Economic Forum, two very special guests representing India's largest IT services company, TCS. With me, Sapthagiri Chapalapalli, head of Europe at TCS, and Amit Bajaj, president of North America. Welcome to Business Today. Amit, I'm going to start with you. The sun's come out, there's no snow. This year, a lot of veterans are saying that that's not climate change. It was just a change in the season when Davos is held. But how is the season looking for IT and for companies like yourself when it comes to economic feeling in the market?
From our perspective, it is quite good, Siddharth. We announced our annual results, and as you would have noticed, we've clocked highest ever order book. And so in the field, we are quite bullish. Also, the customer demand is quite robust. And I mean, we see a range of technologies that are going to have multi-decadal effect. So, and customers will go through this over a number of years.
I mean, before I go to Sapta, I just want you to comment about this. You know, it's said that in the field of technology, when America sneezes, the rest of the world catches a cold. I'm not talking about revenue numbers, but do you see that happening given the economic slowdown, inflation, and the uncertainty that seems to have set in after what's happening with global macro factors?
First of all, from TCS perspective, no, not really, because we have a fantastic business model that is a solution to customers' challenges both in the upturn and in the downturn. So as we call, there's a growth and transformation engine and a cost and optimization engine. So they work across cycles. I think broadly, if I see from a larger perspective, yes, there is concern around rising inflation. There is concern around talent situation. There are some concerns, but customers by and large are committed to the larger technology adoption across industries. So,
Amit, a lot of the parents who are listening to this conversation and to all the young people who are building their careers are studying right now. They would pick up that one point about talent, and we know the headlines there. But Sapta, the same question really, with an additional comment, if you can share. How are things looking from Europe? Because we have a war that's going on, and you see a different kind of economic fallout, especially with regard to energy within Europe. Does that cloud the outlook, or are things, is business going to be as usual?
Yeah, like Amit pointed out, all industries are in transition. And Europe, of course, is also having leading companies who are leading this whole revolution. And the good thing about that is this entire transition is powered by technology and digital technology. And most of our customers, whether it's an automotive company, whether it's an energy company, retailer, everyone wants to use more and more technology to transform their business models and go into the future. And that's why we see a significant potential as well as an opportunity for, as well as a responsibility for us to work closely with our customers as they transition into the new industry. Secondly, of course, when it comes to Europe, we do have 2 points that you raised. One is the energy security issue, because we are heavily dependent on the energy from Russia, for example. And there is a rapid move to go to alternate mechanisms, but also to go into more sustainable energy sources. And with regard to the situation in Ukraine, of course, it's a huge humanitarian crisis, and TCS was one of the first companies which stepped in and supported the humanitarian efforts of humanitarian agencies, as well as some of our people who had families there and so on. So I do see that there is no stopping the digital transformation or the digital transformation enabling industries, and we are there.
Sapta, a lot of people say that it was IT which kept the world running when it went into the worst lockdown after COVID. It was actually IT, and people realized the transformative impact that IT has for even daily mundane things, the payments revolution in India, so many other things. We can always talk about that. The current situation of supply side disruptions, a lot of companies, auto you spoke about, long waiting lists in India. My question is not about that. Is the supply side disruption impacting how clients and companies are looking towards further investments on digitization and IT?
Yeah, that's another area which has shown how fragile the global supply chains are. And now we are challenged with using the latest of technology that is available to reimagine the supply chains of the future and build more resilience into those supply chains. And again, it can be done only by using a lot of technology that we have available today. And like you rightly pointed out, that is one of the big topics. But then supply chains are so complex that they need technology to solve, but also they'll take time to solve. But technology, I'm sure, will accelerate the pace of that transformation.
And that means a business and big business for Indian IT companies. Amit, I want to come to you because we're a large country. We're an exporter of human capital, and that human capital would really want to hear from you about what kind of hiring do you think is going to happen in the IT sector in India? I'm not asking you for company numbers, but a broad outlook, and especially from the skilling point of view, because whenever I do these IT conversations and then people come up and say, is my son or daughter doing the right course? Will they get a job in TCS, in other companies? Because it's aspiration. It's like you have finally arrived, Amit.
So I think first of all, I'm a big believer of India and the Indian talent, and there is no other country that provides the kind of talent and at scale that we have. Secondly, what we are trying to do is really democratize talent and onboarding of talent. So if you see what we have done with our national qualifier test, from recruiting from just 300 colleges, that national qualifier test, which is a digital platform for engaging with talent, for selecting talent, onboarding talent, we are now touching 3,000 colleges and universities, and to every tiers of cities. And lastly, I would say for the Indian audience and all the kids wanting to develop a career in technology, technology is changing very fast. So one has to have a continuous learning mindset. And I think that's a key capability and mindset to have.
Offhand, would you be able to share a number with us of how many people take this test? Because you gave us a number of 3,000 colleges, and I'm reminded of what happens with civil service exams. Would any of you be able to share a number with us of how many boys and girls take this test?
So we have around million boys and girls on this platform.
Okay.
And if my memory serves me right, around 600,000, 6 lakh kids have taken the test and engaged with this platform.
Okay, and we won't hold you if you've gotten a few thousand here or there, because I just asked this off the cuff. Okay, now I ask you about the concerns, Sapta, again around what we saw after the lockdown, huge wave of digitization, everything, peak digital as I would call it. But peak digital is now going down a bit. We are seeing people adapt to a newer work culture, a hybrid work culture. Is that going to impact the outlook in any manner? Do you see companies then stepping back from certain spends and kind of conserving some of their capital?
Like I said, it is survival for businesses to transition to the new world. And that is going to be significantly platform and software driven. And as far as investments in software and technology is concerned, I don't think companies can afford to compromise on that, because that's the survival. And the second thing is they also need to do it at pace, and they need to do it fast. And then that's where they need a significant capabilities of innovation to drive that kind of change. Because in the past, their innovation was on the manufacturing or supply chain or other processes. Now they have to use technology, and that's where their investments will go, and we need to innovate very fast, especially in the Europe.
Sapta, as we go down the promenade here, you see the word blockchain written at several places, and companies, and including Indian companies, talking about that, trying to basically even do a bit of advocacy when it comes to blockchain technology. In that context, what are the newer areas that TCS is working on? What can you share with us? First you, and then Amit, the same question to you.
Yeah. So blockchain as a technology offers immense possibilities, of course, to decentralize various services that are delivered by large companies. Of course, the big one that started was in the banking arena, and of course, TCS as a leading player in the banking space has invested in that and built platforms that are based on blockchain. But it also offers immense capabilities to digitize and simplify transactions and to also decentralize transactions in all industries. We are, of course, working, for example, in industries including in travel, for example, with large airlines, how to, where the volumes of transactions are very high, and how to, decentralize the processing of that.
Amit.
Yeah. So first of all, Siddharth, I think going back to your earlier question, I think maybe customers or industries might take a breather, but there is so much more to do, right? So you talked about new technologies. I feel even cloud, we've been talking about it for 4 or 5 years now. And in my view, we're still just a quarter done.
Oh, okay.
Right? So we call cloud 2.0, which is essentially going away from a consumption-based view of cloud to a business-based view of cloud. And we've been talking about reimagination of businesses and industries on the cloud using data and AI. So that's, to me, it is at least a 10-15 year marathon. This is not a sprint. I think second, the technology innovation hasn't stopped. So blockchain is there. You also would have heard a lot about metaverse, which is also a theme of World Economic Forum this year. 5G and really empowering edge. And ultimately, I see it's not just individual technologies, but how they come together to transform. And I think that's going to be very compelling, how we bring multiple things together.
I'm tempted at this stage, as we wind down this conversation, to ask you, a few years later down the line, will this conversation be held in the metaverse? I still don't understand it, perhaps not even 1%. Is that a possibility?
It's not either or. So both formats will stay. I mean, there is no replacement of meeting you in person here. But I could do an interview with your avatar on metaverse.
Okay, Sapta, the final question. Many years back, almost well over 2 decades back, I experienced the first satellite phone call in Switzerland, in Geneva, not here at Davos, and I was fascinated. And I was struck by the potential for a country like India. Tragically, sat phones were used after that when the Bhuj earthquake happened. And ever since, this question comes to me every time. There are certain technologies that have immense potential. And again, this is not a TCS question. I'm asking this perhaps to both of you as experts in the tech field. Many technologies don't deliver on their potential. Is that a fear that you see for India as well? We see a lot that is spoken about but doesn't percolate down to the masses.
No, the value proposition of certain technologies, especially satellite, is applicable to low densely populated areas, especially rural areas which are not connected. I would not say India, because India, I would say, has leapfrogged quite a bit. I think we have fiber going into most of the towns and villages. But many
and we now have an Indian sort of backing the space consortium.
But if you go to the larger geographies which have a very large landmass but very low concentration of people, it is not economically viable to take fiber or other technologies there. That's where satellite has an immense potential. Of course, I'm sure you are tracking the new company that has been launched on satellite,
yes,
which is showing the potential of satellite technologies to bring people onto the bring people wideband access. Yeah.
You were talking about 5G. You want to go ahead?
No, I think if you look at a series of digital technologies, whether it is IoT, cloud, AI, data, to me, that technology is all about masses. It is about solving India's access problem. and really democratizing access. Unlike satellite phones, which were perhaps extremely expensive for a mass usage, if you see how India with Aadhaar platform and several digital interventions that government has put in place, how it is propagating the innovation, it's amazing.
Very few people realize what the India stack has really done to their life, and that's Amit, Bajaj and Sapta who have told us about technology, and I've tried to make it as simple because folks, these are two stalwarts from TCS. One runs the European business, the other North America, and they don't get bigger than this. And hopefully in this short conversation, you perhaps would have understood what drives Indian IT and what makes Indian IT a brand to reckon with worldwide. Sapta, Amit, thank you very much for your time. With that, it's a wrap on this conversation. We'll be back with more. Stay with us.
If you like the video, do like, comment, share and subscribe.